Problem, reaction, solution. Let's get it. A volcano goes off. Problem. People are scared, they want to get off the island. Reaction. Solution. We'll only take you off the island if you're vaccinated. Problem, reaction, solution. There's going to be a link in the description to the Queen, or one of them, right? Conja, the Queen, okay? And I think I'll do more of that. I'll find people of similar vibration to share it so that you can get a different perspective, a strong feminine perspective, okay? Strong feminine perspective, all right? There's enough of us guys out here, ranting and raving. Sometimes you need the soothing voice of an intelligent, aware female to give you perspective. And I love her perspective because in this particular weekend, like anything else, when you're studying stuff, it can slow you down and make it hard to move on simple things like putting together a TV stand. That's another video. All right, so as I'm watching the sunset through this window, through that window, as I'm watching the sunset, I'm listening to the Queen, and I'm thankful for her because she's talking about divide and conquer, right? And you are in the middle of a spiritual warfare, whether you acknowledge it or not, is irrelevant. You're in the middle of a spiritual warfare, and the tactic here, like all other times for the most part, is divide and conquer. Vaccinated versus non-vaccinated. White versus black, rich versus poor, jobless versus somebody with a job. It's all over the place. Cop versus citizens. The song that's playing in my head. You ever had a song playing in your head and it pops in and you can't get rid of it as I'm talking to you? Slow down. That's spiritual. I'll play that after this video's over. Or I'll put the link to that song in the description. Slow down. Slow down. Take a breath. Breathe. If you have gotten a Wonka ticket, and the Wonka ticket that's from another Queen's channel, a floor burn. If you've gotten the Wonka ticket and then you've come across some information that had you hesitant about your decision to do that, one of the solutions, which Bobby Hemmett spoke of, Brother Panic spoke of, and Conja Queen spoke of, is also in the link in the description. Okay, very simple procedure, very simple process. We are not doctors. We do not give medical advice, but there is a holistic community born from the tutelage of people like Layla Africa, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Berg, Dr. Bergman, etc., Phil Valentine, etc., etc. Bobby Hemmett. The list goes on and on. All right. So, and in these times of isolation, you didn't have anything else to do. You were surrounded, if you had devices, with the ability to study anything you felt like learning about. Infinite sources of information available externally, and even more, what's more than infinite, sources of instruction internally. All right? Cannot get on the boat unless you got the vaccine. Can't get the passport unless you got the vaccine. Listen, your body, your parents created it. None of these knuckleheads running around this MF like Bobby. They don't run this. They run around this, like Bobby Hemmett would say. They run around this. None of these people created you. None of them. None of them have the right to tell you what to do with your body. At the end of the day, you are. Many of you have been running rampant, making decisions based on what has historically been known as the common cold. All of a sudden, the common cold is a threat to national security. Slow down. Think about that. The common cold. All right? The corona has been listed on a Lysol can for years. Years. I don't think they realized that when it came out. So when they a year ago when they stopped publicizing this as the greatest catastrophe, like an asteroid coming, I don't think a lot of them realized that on the back of these air fresheners, it's like, oh, this it kills corona as well. So we got to change the name. Yeah, you got to change the name. Went from corona to COVID. Right now, we don't want to say anything that get flagged. We want you to be able to get enough information for you to do your own research. If you're home, and if your children are home, and if these schools are closed, that in itself is a blessing. Use that opportunity to connect with your kids. Use that opportunity to teach your kids what you want them to learn. It's a good opportunity for that, because 8 hours out of your home in school, and then you working, and then maybe you all get to eat dinner together, maybe you don't. That in itself is a divide and conquer tactic. Kids going to school to get mind controlled, being given outdated information. The Queen talks about that. Outdated information. Christopher Columbus discovered America. You can't discover a place where there's already people there. It's new to you. It's not new to the people who have been there for millions of years. All of this nonsense that we've had to be programmed with to go into school, and all of these fields that are available that were not talked about in school. We're coming out of school going into debt to get degrees for jobs that don't exist anymore, or can be stopped, or can be labeled non-essential, where there's a whole host of careers, whole host of trades that go on every day that no one ever mentioned in school. Didn't require any schooling, just on-the-job training, and pay pretty well too. Maybe I'll do a video about that. That'll be cool. All right? Slow your reactions. Stay in control of your emotions. Don't allow yourself to be triggered. Protect your space, your aura space. Protect your aura space. All right? Don't allow anybody to leech on into your aura. Drain your energy. All right? And if that means you have to turn the TV off for a while, turn it off. All right? Turn it off. No more 5-6 hours of mind control TV. You're paying basically to mind control yourself with a cable subscription. I don't have cable. Not because I can't afford it, whatever. I just refuse to pay to get mind control. If there's something that I want to see that's been reported, I'll go look for it. And I'm holding it right here in my hand. And there are ways to go look for that information if we want that information. But what we don't want is hours of mind control programming. It creates fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. All of my zombies, I use that term affectionately, who are running around in these stores with 2 and 3 masks on and face shields, all right? I'm talking to you. Now, my subscribers don't do that, but I'm talking to you now. Share this with one of your zombie relatives. I'm talking this to you now. You've been had, okay? You've been put in a state of fear for the common cold. Think about that. And then ask yourself what a cold is. What's the purpose of a cold? What's a virus? What's the flu? What's the purpose of the virus and the flu? It has a purpose. What is the purpose? The purpose is detoxification. Have there been people that have studied that recently? Yes. Angeles Vonderplanz. We talked about that. We listen. Angeles Vonderplanz has a whole section in my playlist here in YouTube. Conja Queen has a whole section in my playlist here on YouTube. Bobby Hemmett, Phil Valentine, Dr. Bergman, Dr. Berg, Dr. Layla Africa. They are all neatly organized in my playlist. You don't even have to go look for it and do any search. You could just turn this off and just go through the daggone playlist and play, or neatly organized, and play anything, you learn anything you want to learn. If you don't feel like tapping Google and speaking to the daggone microphone and saying whatever subject it is you want to look up. It's right here, already here, laid out for you for the time being. Okay? Problem, reaction, solution, divide and conquer. Let's not fall for that. No more emotional reactions. They, like Bobby Hemmett said, I'll keep repeating it. They don't run this. Whoever they are, they run around here. They're just running around. They don't run this. You have no reason to be afraid of the common cold. Angeles Vonderplanz. Go through the playlist. Hit play. But I will put the link to the description for Conja Queen's video because the vibration was very, very soothing, very, very relaxing, and it gives solutions. And here we asked why. The only disease we have here is the why disease. Why? No. You're not going to tell me to do something until I figure out why. And after I hear your reason for me to need to do it, I'm still going to research it and get broader perspectives and higher perspectives. That's what we do now. Because you have already shown, you, pharmaceuticals, you, Fauci, and whoever is behind you backing all this, Bill Gates and whoever's behind you, because Bill Gates ain't running anything, he's the puppet. We ask why. And asking why doesn't make us conspiracy theorists. It makes us researchers. We've been forced to become researchers. And the same kid that used to walk around Queens in Timberlands untied and his pants hanging off his behind and listening to Onyx with rocking the bald head is now a researcher. It's called growth. We ask why here. We connect with other people who ask why. And this video is about making it easier for you to connect to other people who are asking why. Particularly, and my focus for the next couple of weeks is going to be females who are asking why. Females with similar vibrations or even higher. And bringing that to you. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Good day.